We're done. So you can give me some minutes to set. Okay, I think I'm all set now. So yeah, so welcome everyone again. Welcome to today's class. We'll be looking for starters. Let's do a quick refresher on what the things we did yesterday. Yes, this is where we stopped. Looking at data scraping, automation concepts and techniques. Can we see my screen very well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think we looked at the automation concepts, looked at the techniques or the tools UiPath provides for automating with our user interface. So we looked at our data scraping wizard, screen scraping wizard, and we performed some activities. Yes. And then we looked at the types of input methods for screen scraping. So we saw that we had three. We have the native full text and OCR. And I guess we remember the differences between everything, which one works better for work case, which one has an advantage over the other in different cases. Sorry? We also looked at the data scraping wizard and how to use it to extract structured data, be it from a list of searches or from an Excel spreadsheet. So I think we've seen generally how to perform, extraction from content or from UI elements on our screen. Okay, so let's go into today's activity. That will be PDF automation or PDF extraction. And for PDF extraction, we have two main activities that UiPath has provided. The first one being the read PDF text. This simply allows us to extract text from a PDF file and store it in a string variable that we can use to perform activities or perform data manipulation wherever the need may be. I think we do any activity on that. I think we did. I'm not sure. Yeah, we read a PDF and we saw the properties that the activity has. Like I don't have my PDF package installed. Yeah, I looked at the properties of the read PDF text. We saw how to set the range, set the variable that we're storing it into. What else did we look at? I think we saw file name, password, preserve formatting, range, and I think I talked about what each of these properties are used for, what they And what they perform, like how the preserve formatting allows us to store the formatting of our PDF in our string, so we can take that into consideration when we are trying to strip data out of our PDF. So there's an activity, I think there's an activity in this. Before we do the two activities, let's quickly look at the rest of the content under the read or the PDF activities. We saw some other activities that you can perform on PDFs now include the get PDF page count. And this allows us to retrieve total number of pages that we have in a PDF file, and it stores our output in, as you probably guessed, it's an integer. Then the export as image allows us to convert a PDF page, so it's a certain page, convert that page into an image, and we can use for, for whatever purpose you would need images for. Now the extract images from PDF works in the same way as the extract PDF page as image, but then we can use it to extract multiple images from a specific file. Rather than working on one specific page and converting that page to image, this allows us to get multiple images from a file. So we can take, for example, we have a file that has 5 pages. We can extract those 5 pages as images without having to repeat the former activity multiple times. Now you also have the extract PDF range. Now this activity works by allowing us to, let's say, remove or extract, I think is still the most correct word. So extract a set or a range of pages from a PDF document. So let's say you have a long PDF like this, for example. I want to just few pages and create its own individual PDF documents. We have the joint PDF files, which join PDF together and store multiple PDFs together and stores everything in a single PDF. Then manage PDF password is an activity that allows us to manage the password of a specified PDF file. So I think after all this, talk I've been talking, let's see each of these activities in action. Let's see how to use them and what we might come across in the process of using them. So I hope everyone has opened their UiPath Studio. If you haven't, I think I'll give everyone 3 minutes to open it and create a new process so we can start building together. Is that fine with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's get open. And then we'll look at each of the activities we have here to create, a mock sequence, run it and see what outcomes. If it agrees with whatever we have been talking about. Okay, so I think 3 minutes elapsed. So let's
No.
go. Did someone say something?
Yeah, so I did not on my laptop before, so that's like 3 minutes kind of.
Okay, excuse me for some minutes. My laptop acting the mind of its own. Okay.
Hello, sir. Mr. Timilei.
Yep. So sorry, my laptop froze, so I had to restart it.
Okay. I was on the
Can
road
you hear
before
him?
doing it now, so I hope I've not missed anything.
Hello?
I said I was on the road before. I said I'm just joining in now. I hope I've not missed miss out from any activity.
You have not, luckily for you.
Thank you.
So welcome, Judge, and welcome everyone who is just joining us. Can you see my screen now?
No, sir. I can see it now.
Okay.
Yes, we can see so.
I had to restart my UiPath Studio. So for those that just joined us, I think I said we are going to be doing more of building processes today. Let's talk. So we should all turn on our laptops, open our UiPath Studio, and let's all build together. And let's explore the UiPath Studio. UiPath Studio application. Got to change. Okay. We are all set up. So let's see what's in the activities. So actually, let's first of all work with these PDFs or with this activity that we have seen so far. Now get PDF page count. Let's get that. So on our UiPath, on our design panel, we want to add the get PDF. Fine.
Excuse me, Mr. Simi, I cannot find the get PDF activity.
Okay, have you installed your PDF package or PDF activities package?
No.
So
No.
You have to do that. Like, have you been looking at my screen so far? You look at what I just did now. Just did the exact same thing.
A PDF package. Do you need to install the PDF package every time you want to use PDF, or it's just a once-off thing?
It's a one-time thing.
Okay, because I did that yesterday, and
Yeah,
I opened an old process I did. I tried searching for PDF. I could not find it until I opened the process I used yesterday. When I searched for PDF, I could find it. So does that mean it does not apply to other processes I've done?
I mean, I feel like it should apply to other processes, but
I opened an old process. I could not find PDF there. But every process I opened after I installed the package yesterday, I could find PDF on it.
yeah, so then I guess it's not applied to old processes then.
Mr. Simi, so are you trying to install the PDF process activity now?
I have installed it, but then okay, for anyone who still can't find, so on your design ribbon, where you see new save, so there's a button that says manage packages. You click on that and you should get a new window. So under official packages, you should search for PDF. So locate the UiPath.pdf.activities by UiPath. Then
okay, so
the latest version and install and save.
No, under the official.
Yes.
I should look for PDF.
UiPath, yeah, just search for PDF. Then you should see UiPath.pdf activities.
Okay, so it's an error message I have. It says package source official has encountered the following error.
What?
Package source official
Has encountered
the following error. I can't see the rest of the errors. It looks like okay, unable to load service index for source.
Okay. I'm going to log into service index or source. Can you check your settings if this default part is the same as mine?
Okay. Checking. Under the user defined package sources, I only have nuggets. I only have nuggets. I don't have.
Default. Yeah, under default. Don't worry about user defined.
Okay, under default, I have local, I have official, and I have market space.
And are they all ticked?
Yes, they're all ticked.
So try again.
Okay.
Try searching for again, but then yes, you all know the steps. So yes, so first of all, we are going to look at the PDF. PDF page counts. I want to get some PDFs from the internet that we would use to do all these activities.
Can we use a PDF on our laptop?
Yes, you can use any PDF.
Okay, so no need to download.
You don't need to download a PDF. This is just. Let's get this AI powered.
Cannot find it to install.
Sorry?
Still the same error. The error is still the same, nothing.
I want to ask a question, sir.
Okay, I'm listening.
On the manage package, I click on all packages. So, and I type PDF. I'm having UiPath PDF.activities. Is it the one or is another thing entirely?
Wait, what did you do?
On that manage package, you will see where we have all packages.
Is the one, yeah. Is the
Click
one.
on it. So
Still nothing.
All packages, and I tap the PDF. So I have UiPath PDF activities, version 3.4.1.
I think you should be using 3.6.0. I'm not mistaken. You guys latest one.
Nothing.
Wow, PDFs on this computer. That's just great.
Sir, I installed the PDF activity yesterday. I mean the PDF stuff yesterday. Today I can't even see it.
You can't see the PDF. You can't see PDF activities in your what's it called? Your workflow. You can't.
I can't.
Okay, so try installing again and saving. So the same process, manage packages, official, then UI.pdf activities. But then I think you should, once you do it the first time, you should come up for subsequent projects or processes. Looks like I have to do this.
So is it this get PDF page counts?
Sorry?
I can see get PDF page counts.
First of all, I think we are working with
Sir, it's not bringing up the PDF activity.
when you search for it in manage package.
Yes, it's not coming up.
But you installed it yesterday and it came up yesterday. Or is this a different person?
I did. It's Robert. No, I did actually install it yesterday.
And you can't find it again. You can't find it today now.
It's very funny. It's funny.
I have no idea why that could be happening. And good reports.
Try typing just PDF on the search and that's it.
Robert, have you seen it?
It's bringing up an error. It said Target Source Connect has encountered the following error. Unable to load the service index.
Are you is your laptop connected to the internet?
No.
Yeah, so connect to the internet.
Oh, okay.
So Rafiad is also the laptop to the internet. Rafiad.
I can hear you, sir. What did you say?
It says your laptop connected to the internet.
No, it's not.
So
Should I?
do that and search for it again. You should see it.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
I've gotten a PDF. Actually. Hello? Yes. Small calling.
Hello, sir.
Is this favor?
I have downloaded. Hello, sir.
Hello? Hello? I'm listening.
I've downloaded the PDF, but when I type in my activity panel the PDF, what I'll see is export PDF from page as image, extract images from PDF.
So what's the problem now?
Which one am I using for now to extract the PDF?
I mean, we've not decided on what we are using. I think that we'll be using, first of all, the get PDF page counts to and see what that does.
Okay,
right.
Mr. Timmy. Yeah. Is it this one that is UiPath.pdf .activities by UiPath?
It's that one, yes.
Thank you.
And if you were in class yesterday, the previous person who I get favor or Glory, one of the two. We have looked at extracting data from PDF. Looked at the types of PDF, so you should try to.
Miriam, please be fast.
Look at yesterday's video.
Sorry.
Okay, so now we've gotten our PDF, so now we can start. So the first one we're working with is the PDF break. Extract PDF. I'll get PDF page. And it's likewise most of our PDF activities. You would need to navigate to the PDF in question, the PDF you want to work with. In this case, this one is located here. So I have done that. And we can store in the outputs. Can you see my screen? Sorry, hope I'm not just talking.
Please, sir, can you do it again? Can you start from the beginning again, as in from here?
Are you just joining us now?
No, I've already installed my. I just finished as in connecting my own PDF now. So I just want to know where you started, so I'll know what to do.
Sorry.
I said, as with all PDF activities, we first of all have to.
So I'm not seeing your screen.
Want to?
It's your network. It's your network.
I can see this.
You have to locate the PDF you want to work with. So this on the activity, get PDF page count activity, we should see a folder icon. I click on and then click on the file you want to use. So I've clicked on mine. That's why you see this whole sequence of letters or letters and slashes that shows the path to the file. Now in our properties panel, under outputs, there is a space that reads page count. This is where we put our variable that we will use to store the page count. Let's call it num of pages. And then let's display the number of pages in a message box for us all to see. That's done. As you can see, the what's it called? The variable type is type int32. As we said earlier, so you can see that it corresponds to everything you've been saying so far. Let's open our file, and you should see our output. That's one. We confirm this PDF. You can see it has 31 pages. So the next activity we'll look at is the
Sorry, how did you do the page count?
How did I what?
The page count.
Page count. Hello? I didn't get that question. How did I do the page count?
Yes. I saw you entering something, but I didn't get it.
It is a message box. He used the message box to call that variable.
After I inputted my PDF and I created my variable, I display the output in the message box. So I think we should know how to message boxes by now. So we just put our variable, which I named number of pages or num of pages, and then after running, it displays on the screen to show us what we expected it to do. Now the next activity we'll be looking at now is the export PDF page as image. Now export PDF page as image. Same thing, same steps again. Look for it in our activities panel. And that PDF. This.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. This is Kennedy, sir. Sorry, sir. I just did the get PDF count, sir, but I don't know I don't get what's next, sir.
Don't get what? Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Hello?
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
I
All right, sir.
can hear you. Are you talking?
I just did the get PDF count, sir, and I've gotten the documents that that is inside, but I don't know the next step, sir.
The next step is to display it in the message box. Or the next step,
I should display it in the
that we did. Yes. So that's what we did. Now we displayed the variable in the message box. So create a message box and put your variable there.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, what's the variable type, sir?
Integer.
Integer.
32.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so now for the next activity, the extract PDF page as image. So likewise, we would first of all have to indicate our PDF and do that the same way with the folder icon. Get the PDF we want to use. And then now we can say this one has two fields. The second field is for the file name, or in the that you will be putting the image in. Now we can just enter a string here, and let's call it image PDF, and that will be our file name. By default, it would store the file in the same location your process is in. So wherever you stored this process you are creating at the moment, that's where we would store the same image file. Now for the properties panel now, we have file name, Apple file name, password. This is if the PDF has a password, put that there. Then image DPI, that's the image, something about image quality, image density. So it's how good you want the image to be, how I say vivid, how vivid you want the image to be. So like big 270. We'll probably create a larger file, but then to have more resolution. And then the page number we want to extract from. So this is going to be an integer. So I want to extract the image from page 4, so I just typed in 4. Now let's run.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
Yes, neither.
Sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I was asking, what's the full meaning of that DCPI?
What?
What's the meaning of that DCPI? The full meaning.
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I think it's something about density, or not really sure, but we cannot check Google for that. So.
Okay, but what is the function of it on that part of the PDF?
It has to do with the image resolution, the image quality, and likewise that will have an impact on the image size.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now let's run this also and let's see what happens now. Image file name is the file. Okay. So what that means is that in our file name, we should put it in image format. And the popular image formats we have include the JPG and the PNG. So let's use the one we know the most, .jpg. Then if you want, you can put the PNG and any other one you can think of. Let's run again and let's see what happens.
So PNG seems to be the best.
Sorry?
I was saying that PNG seems to be the best. It consumes less space and is more better and it's looking better. The resolution is better than that of JPG.
No. That may be true. So you can all use PNG. So you can use anyone you want to use. So PNG, JPG, whatever. And if you all get an output, we can start now. And you can see the image now. If you open it, you should see it should correspond to the things that are in that time.
Yeah, you can go. I might stay at it.
We can see small steps, giant strides, and other stuff like that. And in our PDF, have the same thing on page 4. So same from small steps to giant strides and all that stuff. So I guess we are gradually seeing the,
so basically it's more like a converter from PDF to image.
Yes, so converting PDF to image. I guess we can imagine what uses you would have for those.
Is there an activity for like a reverse of this? We're going to find out.
So for getting PDF back from image, I don't think so. Because I think, as I was saying before, I was saying we can think of reasons why we might want to convert a PDF to an image. And part of the reasons are for, let's say, immutability. Because if, for example, we have PDF editors now that can edit native PDFs very well. But then editing a picture, that will require a lot more things. They probably someone to have a very good knowledge of Photoshop or any photo editing software. So you can see how changing a PDF to an image would make it more secure. So I don't think UiPath would now want to do something that would, let's say, reverse that security. But then for now, there is no activity for that. Maybe in future, maybe a need comes up that someone has identified and would allow UiPath to implement such activity. But for now, we can't do the reverse yet.
How scripting?
Sorry?
I said scripting activity might do it. Don't you think so?
Scripting, you can script out the data. You can script out the text now. But you can't recreate this in PDF. Unless, you can't recreate it at a go. You have to take more time. You have to sit down, look at it, compare, and try to put those images, like these circles now. You have to start creating your own circle on on your own document. But what UiPath can do is just get the words, get all the sentences, get everything down, copy it down for you into a variable, and then output it. But scraping can't recreate the OPDF.
Hello. I have a question. I'm trying to run my get PDF and page count. When I run it, the message will come out 0. But this is a PDF that has multiple pages. So what might be my mistake?
So I use the correct variable. I think that is probably what is happening. Probably did not use, displaying the correct variable. Because the variable, let me share my screen again. Okay, I've created the activity. Back, undo. As you can see, we passed the variable as the output here. And then that's what we are printing on the screen. If, for example, we print something else, so let's use a variable, create a new variable, or call it number. Type int. You see that we would have 0 in that case. Okay, it's not even wrong. Could not find the file. Guys, because I moved the file. So we run it. So what I think you are doing is you're not using the correct variable. So check the output of the PDF page count activity. Check the variable that is there, then print out that variable. If there's no variable there, then create a variable into that. You can see I have 0 on my screen now because the variable is not being assigned the value. So that's what you're probably doing wrong. Okay, let's continuing with where we are. Hide this.
Can you hear me?
I can hear someone.
Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
What could possibly be the solution? I'm trying to install the PDF, and it's saying no package found.
No package found. Is your internet on?
Yes, please.
On the laptop. And you still can't find the PDF activity.
Yes, please.
So are your settings same as this under default package sources?
Under the what?
Default package sources.
Default package sources. Where do I find out?
Under settings.
Okay. Yes, it's local official marketplace. Okay, I'm only saying X3 is not there and my package is not there.
No, I say under default, not user defined. Default one's the same.
Okay, under default, yes, it is like that.
And
Exactly
they are all checked.
Yes, they are checked.
I think you should find that if you can't find it, try searching all packages for PDF. And you should hopefully see it there. If it's not there, then not sure. I'm not sure what's I think I'll probably respond to you. Then try all packages. You see there. I think the next
All packages.
Next thing we are looking at is
Hello, can you hear me? Oh, can anyone hear me, please?
next one
We can hear you.
is the
Okay, I'm having the same issue where my PDF. How can I set the variable right?
the next thing we're looking at is extract images from PDF. That does. Someone is causing an echo. Person should please mute himself. Mute yourself. Mute yourself, please. The next one is read extract images from PDF. Extract images from PDF. Then let's get our PDF again. Our output file name, or output folder name in this case. So we create a folder, string, put PDF images. Then you can set our image extension. So I think someone was saying PNG is the best one. So let's go with PNG now. Then let's run the activity again and you'll see output. Try PDF files. Could not find the path to the okay. And we are done. So for the output folder name, you have to put the whole path to the place you want to store it. So from your root directory, which is C in this case, to wherever you want to store. I think an easy way of doing that is just to copy it, create a folder elsewhere, and then copy the path name. So if we look into PDF activities, you should see the pictures there. So you can see how we have converted every page PDF. Or rather, okay, so I think I might have
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir? Okay, so I didn't get how you where you inputted the output of it. That's what I want to know, sir.
It's in the properties panel. You see outputs there.
Okay, I've seen it. Thank you, sir.
Please, subsequent questions should please go to the chat. Let's not slowing the class down. I will read the chat and then hopefully answer, but then go to the chat and type your questions. Now, this extracts images from PDF. Contrary to what I said before, actually just extracts images. That is what UiPath deems as pictures from our PDF file, and then stores everything in a folder which we have named. So we can see here it's picked these images, the PDF, and then stored it all in this folder. The next activity now would be the join PDF. I think we can all imagine how we should do, or should we continue building those or subsequent ones too?
I think we ourselves so that
We should continue to carry everybody along.
So what's the conclusion? Are we building, or let us continue to the next?
I think we should keep building so that everybody can follow up.
So we should just move forward.
So we'll do one more, because I mean we've done 3 so far. So I'll do the fourth one, and yeah, you have to work on it to yourself. It's like an assignment, not assignment really, but just to help you understand. The next one we look at is the extract PDF range. That would extract some pages of a PDF and create its own singular PDF file. So same thing here. Select the PDF file we want to use. Same one. Selected that. Let Apple file name. New PDF. And then for the properties, we have file name, Apple file name, password, and then the range. And this is the range of pages you want to read. So let's read from page 4 to 7. Sorry. So you put your pages as a string to read from page 4 to 7. And now let's run this file also and see the output. So we are done. Created the new PDF. In our project folder, I should see the PDF file. Yeah. So you can see new PDF here, and it holds exactly pages 4 to 7. So page 4 in this is This page 4, and this is page 7. You can see that's holding the exact same step. So for the last two activities, you guys should do that on your own, and you would actually now we would just do the classroom activity before we move on to Excel automation, Excel and workbook automation. So the classroom activity says we should demonstrate how to extract text from a PDF file using the read PDF text activity. Start in a notepad. Okay, install the dependency, download the PDF, open the PDF file. Save the script PDF. So first step, download the PDF. I think we have done that, or you can use any PDF you will have or you want to use on your computer. Then the next thing is to get our read PDF text activity. Hopefully by now everyone should have had their PDF activities installed. Now we want to read PDF text and then locate our file. The range is set to all. Is it all you're asking us for? The range is set to all. And in our output, set a new variable called content. So
I cannot see read PDF on my own. What I saw is I just saw read PDF with text. Is it the same thing as just the read PDF?
It's the same thing as read PDF. I said read PDF with text, so there's no read PDF activity.
Because I'm not seeing your screen. That's right. Sorry.
It's the read. Yeah, there's no read PDF activity. It's read PDF with text.
Okay.
You are fine. No problem. You're not making a mistake anywhere. Now we put our variable in the output, and then we ask to use a write text file. And you pass our variable here. Variable is content, and then the file name. The file name is script.
So under the property, when you talk about page number, what are we supposed to put there, sir?
The activity says all, or it doesn't specify. So, but we are using all in this case.
The all, do you need to put it in quotes or just put all?
So all is a string, so it has to be in quotes. But generally, when you are working with all these PDF activities, you would put whatever input in strings, in quotes as strings. So if you want, let's say you want to read pages 5 to 7, you put 5 to 7, 5-7 in quotes.
Sorry to distract. In the range aspect, can I just pick maybe page 1, page 5, page 7, page 10, and not picking them like 1 to 5, 7 to 10 as you did initially?
So I don't think you can pick. You can pick pages like 1, 2, 3, and like skip some pages. I mean, you can't skip pages. I mean, remember, it's a range now, and the range is a continuous set of numbers, so you can't skip pages. What you can do is just, I mean, you have to create multiple read PDFs in that case, and then extract those pages you want to extract. So you can't skip pages, yeah. Now, after doing all that, so I think that last step in the activity, run. Let's see our outputs. Let's see what we copied. You see that it's not going to copy the images. So we see that's why it can't recreate PDFs. Using read text, you can only scrape. So we are done running our process. Our file, this is our file. So you can see it has scraped everything out. But that's a whole lot of words, but you can see, you can guess that it has worked. It has worked into its specifications. With all that being said, there is now in the PDF there is a classroom activity there that tells us to, but there's a practice activity that says we should review the workflow using read PDF text activity and extract only email IDs and phone numbers from a PDF file and store in a Microsoft Word file. And then steps are there, but so that's something you should do in your spare time. It involves some other concepts that are not in what we have done, that are not in the things that I've said in class, but then the steps to do that are there, and you should, I guess, do your own research and try to solve that exercise as best as you can. And I think we will review it in the class tomorrow. So someone should remind me tomorrow to allow us to review. The first thing we do tomorrow should be to review the practice exercise that is in the PDF from slide 30. Okay. Nobody's talking. Can you hear me? Okay then. The next thing we'll be looking at now is workbook and Excel automation. So these are techniques that we use to extract data from our spreadsheets, and workbooks. Now, a workbook and let's look at the PDF. Now, a workbook or an Excel spreadsheet now has some basic components. As you can see, the screen has cells, rows, columns, and workbook and a worksheet. And each of these have their own specific meanings and how they would apply to an Excel spreadsheet. Now, a cell is a basic data storage unit. It's an intersection of a row and a column that is used to hold a specific amount of data. So you can see how what a cell is from this diagram. Now we also have rows. Rows are horizontal line of entries, while columns are vertical lines of entries. A workbook is the combination of all the rows and columns worksheets rather. It's a combination of all the rows and columns in a specific spreadsheet. So it's a worksheet is a single spreadsheet that contains cells which are organized by rows and columns. So it's a collection of all the rows and columns that we have in that spreadsheet. How the workbook is a collection of all worksheets. It holds multiple worksheets together in a single file. That is what we call a workbook in this context. Now, UiPath has two sets of activities that allows us to manipulate and work with spreadsheets and workbooks. And these two activities are similar, but they also have their own key differences. And that would inform me on what time you would want to use each activity. Now we have number one is workbook activities, and number two is the Excel activities. Now the difference between these two is that for workbook activities now, workbook activities they don't require us to have Microsoft Excel installed on our computer. So for people who don't have Excel on their system but still want to work with spreadsheets, they will have to use workbook activities, while Excel activities requires Excel to be installed. Workbook activities are faster because they are more reliable for some operations when the user doesn't open the file. These activities can only run when our spreadsheet or our worksheet now is not open. So if we try to use these activities when we have an open spreadsheet, you would run into an error. While for Excel, we can set it to run. It can run while the file is open, and it can run in the background or in the foreground. Then the workbook activity only work with .xlsx files, while Excel works with .xls, .xlsm, and then it can work with .csv files. So these are the differences between the two files. But then overall they both work with worksheets, and they both perform the same, or they can both perform the same set of activities. So where one does not have the ability of performing things the other one can't. They both do the same thing, but then they just have different methods of performing them, and these different methods allow for different pros and cons, each one. And the activities work the same way as I said. Now, some of the common activities we have under the two sets are the append range. The append range adds information to a data table. So if you remember before, we said a data table is an in-memory representation of a spreadsheet. That is, it holds things in rows and columns also. So you can see how that is similar to our worksheet. Now in UiPath, we say data tables have a range. They have a sequence, a continuous sequence of data. Now, these activities are then named, to that convention. So now the append range adds more information to the data table at the end. So you can add a row, add the whole row, add the whole column, add the cell, depending on how the table is set up. We also have the get table range. Now this extracts the range of an Excel spreadsheet and returns it to a data table variable. The read cell reads a specific cell and returns the content in it as a string. The read cell formula reads the formula we have used in the cell and stores as a string. The read column, read range, read row, they all read. Read column should read the column. Read range should read a specified range now. So we can decide what part of a workbook we want to read with this activity, and then store it in the data table. The read row also reads the data, a row of information from a workbook, and then stores it, in this case, as a data row object. So this is a new variable type we are just hearing of. So data row object is basically, it's like a row, an individual row in the data table. Now we also have the write cell. This writes information to a specific cell. The write range writes data into a range of, cells in a spreadsheet. Okay, so I think let's look at all these activities and let's see what they do, how we use them. So luckily for us, UiPath by default comes with the Excel activities, but for anyone who for some reason could not find Excel activities, you have to install the package from the packages manager. So same steps you used as when we are installing the PDF. Go to your all or official. And then,
So I hope we don't need to be installing the package every day.
No, you don't. So once you install it.
But yesterday the PDF package, I installed it on my system, but today I couldn't find the PDF. I have to go back and install it again.
I don't. You should not have to do that every day, because I think once you
I think it's because we download it.
Sorry?
I said I think
Robert,
it's because we didn't download it. We only installed it. So I think it
But you
will go
didn't save it.
offline. Offline. Yes, it's not. It wasn't saved.
Supposed to save after installing.
No,
So George,
just beside the tab there for the UiPath.bd, you see it's one small circle that has a download icon. So you are supposed to download it. If not, it just goes offline if you're offline, I guess.
you mean this green what? This green thing, or what?
Yes, that.
I don't think that it's not clickable. Or is it? It's not clickable on. But then I would think once you install it first time and you save it, you should be able to use it in subsequent activities. So that goes for the PDF and for those who did not have Excel installed by default. Once you install it once, you should see it other times. Now let's look at the activities we talked about. I think the first one, see the range. So let's get this type range. See the list of activities we have. We have append range. Well, we notice that there are two append range activities. One is available app integration Excel. The other one is available system file workbook. So I remember I said that we have the UiPath Studio provides two sets of activities for working, and they both do the same thing. So in whatever, if you don't have Excel, you have to use the system.file workbook activity. But if you have Excel, you can use the Excel integration, the app integration activity rather. So in this case, let's go with this second one, so the file one. Now from here, we'd have to extract, we have to indicate an Excel file to use. And if you guessed it, there's no PDF, or there's no Excel file on this laptop. So I think I will just switch. Give me a minute. Let me see my screen now.
No.
No.
Nah. It's on
I can
now.
see it now, sir.
Okay, good. Creating workspace. Vacancies. For some reason, laptop always decides to take its precious time. So you don't want to do that. Okay. Okay, so let's use our append range. So let's use our read range first. Because it makes more sense to read something or we add to it. Let's use our read range, and I'm using the system file workbook. But then if you want to use the Excel, you can use that also. Providing you have Excel installed on your laptop, so you need to have Excel installed before you can use that one. Now, the first thing you will see here so the first thing you'll see here now is for the workbook activities, that is the file system workbook. You have a regular folder icon that allows us to select the file you want to read. Now you can click on that and then locate any Excel file we have on our system. Get this PDF file, so we have that. Now this field here that says sheet 1 allows us to specify what sheets we want to extract.
Sir, your read range activity, both of them are different.
Yeah, because I said we have two sets of activities now. So I opened the two. So for those who don't, or if you want to work with spreadsheets, but you don't have Excel installed on your PC, you can use this read range, the file system workbook. Or the second one is for the Excel. People that have Excel on their system. So for the workbook one now, we have the folder, and then we can say what sheet we want to read. So in this case, I want to read sheet 1, and then this last part is the range. Now, if you want to read the whole PDF, all you can do is we can just clear it. Once we clear it, it will read the whole PDF. But if you want to read specific cells, then you can put the range of cells you want to read. Let's say, for example, you want to read from A1. So let me open the PDF. So would so from, let's say you want to read from cell A1 to cell B2. You can decide to do that, and that would work too. Now for the Excel app integration read range activity, you would have to, we have the same two fields for sheet name and then range. But then if you want to specify the file we are going to read, we would have to put our activity inside an Excel application scope. There's something called Excel application scope. Just type in Excel. Like that. So now we can add our read range into this. Now what this helps us do is it helps us specify what Excel sheet we'll be reading. So likewise, we can then select the file we want to read. And let's read the same file. Let's read everything the same range. Okay, and now for the properties panel, we have range. So range is the range of cells to be read. Value not specified, your spreadsheet is read. So if you leave it empty, that means you're reading the whole spreadsheet. Sheet name, workbook path, add headers. Now, what add headers allows us to do is in the output data table, we might decide to keep the name of the columns. So like for example, now you see this column has header, item, nomenclature, sizes, PN, quantity left, and other things like that. So you might decide to keep this or this information in a data table. Then if you want to exclude it, you would have to set these add headers to off or move the check mark. Likewise, there's a password. If it's password, our Excel file is passworded, and then our outputs. Then we create a data type or a variable of type data table. So let me call this first DT, the first data table, and our variable type is data table. Done. Then for the Excel one now, also has the same or has a very similar properties panel. You have the range, sheet name, add headers, reserve formats, but there's something different in this use filter. And this allows us to filter information from the workbook. So if our workbook now has some set filters, like we want to hide some things, we can allow our output data table to also use those filters and then specify or narrow down the data we are copying from the workbook. Likewise, create a variable again. Let me call this second DT. Second DT. And you can for us to see what we have actually done. Let me print out our variables. In this case, I want to use an output data table activity. We can print out a data table, and let's store a data table called second DT, and then our output string is string. Then likewise for the first one is this DT. And then create variable again, first DT string, and then let's write line. And for these two, let's write line. And we write. So if you run this activity now, you'll see. If I run the activity now, what do you think would happen if I run this activity? What's any idea? First of all, consider this PDF is open. So when I run it, what should happen? Allow me to judge. Allow me to.
No idea, sir.
Yeah. How about George JK? I have any idea what to happen. I just
Yeah,
guess.
sir. I think what I think you should do is that if you read that particular Excel that will specify, then to go to sheet 1, copy the information, then store it on the data table that we just declare first sheet. Then to write it out on the screen for us, passing it as a string using the variable first dt string. So we're going to see it on the screen.
Okay, so that's fine, but actually, this process will throw an error.
It will throw an error because the Excel file is open.
Yes. The
worksheet, the Excel sheet is open.
You see,
because one of them is yes.
Yes. So, and that was Collins. So thank you, Collins. Remember from the property from the differences between the two activities, we said for the work for the
Excel file is not supposed to be open. Yes.
The Excel must not be open when we are using it. Because it's open now, you have an error. So if you want to run things like this or run activities with the workbook activities, you must close our Excel sheet. And then now that I have closed it, if I run it, I don't have any error. Let's do now.
Is it that particular Excel sheet or any type of Excel sheet?
If you are using the workbook activities, right? If you're using it, you must now have your Excel sheet open.
Okay.
Unless you run it, you get an error. So now that I've closed it and I have run it, you can see on my output panel now. I have printed the items in the Excel. The first set is from the workbook activities. They print this. The next set is for the Excel activity. The same. Runs this. 1915. Sorry, I'm not reading the same file. So let's see what we have and let's see what we printed. 4, 8, 9, 15, space, 11, 12. We have some pins there. So you can see printed 4, 8, 9, 15, 11, 12, and the pins inside it. Okay. So as we have seen how these two set of activities, or you've seen how their read range works and what differentiates them. So for now, I'll be working with the Excel application scope. Because that was to monitor it in real time. But as I said, if you have Excel, you can always follow along with workbook activities. Now after read range, I think we saw something like append range. So after reading, let's now append range. The same now for this. Now we have to set our input data table. Our input data table. So since we are reading from this same one. I think it's named second DT. So read from second DT. That's our input. And then we read into sheet one of this activity. Okay, so this append range now, this way it works. It allows us to add to a data table. Okay, and we'll be adding from that table to another data table. In this case, we have the sheet. Now this sheet is what sheet we want to be adding to. It's sheet one in this case, because we opened sheet one, this PDF. And then for the input is our second DT. If we run this, let's see what happens now. Okay, we did not output it, so we can't see exactly what is happening. My right line is not there. Right line is there now. Okay, so let's add the read. Add what's it called again? Append range again. Properties, we have input, we're adding this is what we are adding to the what's it called? The data table we have before. Now we have what's it called? Created for this whole Excel scope. So let's add our second DT. Then let's output again. Range. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yep.
Okay, so
I can.
Okay,
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
okay, so all right. So next thing I want to write also want to output the data table too. And that's this all this string 2 and output string 2. So let's see what happens now. It's not anything. Okay, it's still not printing out anything. Why is that? Okay, so let's change what we are reading. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing this, but okay, so it's our break time now, so I think you guys should go on break. I'll use this
So
to look at
my own is not running the way it's supposed to run. No?
what's happening there now.
It will just, if I run my own, it will just open Excel and wrote not responding. To just be there and it will still be running and it will not stop. I have to stop it myself.
To just
to just try to open an Excel. And normally it's not supposed to open an Excel. And to try and open an Excel and then to be showing blank, but be showing the Excel page and then it will just be there and it still be running.
it should open. It should open an Excel. It should open an Excel if your Excel is not open already. If your Excel is not open already, it's open an Excel for you. So
but it's not opening fully. Like it's like it's trying to open an Excel, but it's not opening.
Is your Excel working normal? Have you tried opening your Excel normally before? And is the Excel app responding? That's another thing. Because normally the way this Excel application scope, it opens Excel file, but we can set it to not open if we want. So for that, we will change this option to not visible or switch off visible. And then try that, Judge. Turn off this visible and run it again. That should not open the Excel file and then should give you your
from the sequence direct.
Yeah, from the properties of the Excel scope activity.
Okay.
So change tick visible off. Okay, so I said it's our break time. So continue again by 9 o'clock.
I have a question.
Yeah, so ask away.
It is basically it has to do with the assignments you gave us, the one I did. My assignment basically comprises of using X, and basically the topic we're supposed to do today, Excel and emails and stuff. Okay, so I created I used data scraping basically. So I scraped data from the internet. That's for COVID, the different data of for all states in Nigeria, COVID, deaths, those that are recovered and everything. That's what the data is about. So the automation was supposed to be, I scrape the data, it tabulates the data in Excel, then sends a mail to the email address I attached to it. Downloads it in downloads in PDF and everything. So now my challenge is it could not send the mail. It was able to yes, it was when I ran the automation, it's the whole getting the data out on Excel, that worked fine. but the part of sending the mail, it didn't work. And I went online, I looked for everything I could find. It looks as if my process was okay. So, but I don't still understand why the mail did not send.
Okay, so how did you try sending?
So I don't know. So that's what I was wondering if I should share my screen and you look at what I did. So if there's anything, another pair of eyes, if there's something I did wrong or something.
Well, let's see. We have time. So share your screen. Let's see what you did.
Okay, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Before Sam shares his screen, I also tried doing this assignment. It's the one you gave us on parallel activities and opening a series of the parallel automation for websites and then opening it in a Word document. I read something on selectors having a problem. That's why it was not doing the appropriate command. So I wanted to see if you could share some light on selectors.
Selectors. Okay, so selectors are the selector is a part to a specific UI element, and those are what records to do uses to work with our on-screen elements. So it's possible that a selector can have an error. There's an echo. Someone should mute themselves. So selectors, yeah, they are how the UiPath Studio identifies what elements you want to be clicking, select, and working with on the screen. Or may not be on the screen also, but it helps us work with UI elements. And UiPath has this whole tool or set of tools called the UI Explorer and Selector Editor that helps us to fine-tune selectors.
Sorry, please, can you enable me to share screen, please?
Oh, okay, yeah, on two devices.
Yes, the one I'm talking on now is what I will need to be enabled.
So I've enabled it.
All right.
Yeah, so I think I was saying something about selectors before that. Selectors are basically fragments or path to a UI element. And these are what allows us to select elements, scrape elements, and work with elements basically. I think, if I'm not mistaken, according to our course, that's our next topic after automation concepts and techniques. So looking at selectors there. I guess you will know more about selectors. But for now, if your selector has an issue, how would I suggest you fix it based on what you've learned so far? I think you may have to actually just read the next PDF, and then look at how you can edit your selector, or if you are sure that's exactly what the problem is. Am I communicating to someone?
Yes, you are.
So what exactly was the problem? What exactly was the problem now? It was not.
There was an error. It said the UI element does not correspond with the selector or something like that. So I kept reading about it on forums and all that, and I saw they edited some values on the UI Explorer, and also the selector editor. Well, I could not even see those values on my own screen, so it really got me. It really got to me. I won't even lie. So I said I should ask in this class.
Yeah, so you could not identify the selector. Yeah, so I think
It was saying something about.
Sorry?
It stated something about dynamic selectors and static selectors. So I think the one on my system.
Is that what you read online?
No. Yeah, that's what I read online. So I think I was supposed to edit the selectors in a way that it should be dynamic, so that it's whenever it changes, it doesn't have to be still the one which the system had recognized.
You're working with the browser to scrape.
Yes. So I was going to get text activity.
Scrape data from a browser. So
okay, so let me run let me run it first.
So what I was saying, Robert, I think about this now. That will happen if that might happen if the web page is also changing. If the web page has changed after you made the workflow in the first place, you might have issues identifying the correct thing again. So you can try clicking
Are you talking?
What? Robert, are you hearing me?
There was a glitch. I wasn't hearing you for a while.
As I said, try indicating the element again.
Okay.
And run your activity. If it gives you the error, then you for sure need to work on your selector, or you just do a different project. Okay, that might be too late. It might be too late for that, but just try indicating it again and see what happens.
All right, I'll do that. I'll do just that.
So I'm still having an issue with
the
my
error
own.
I'm getting.
Not find.
So you can't find
file system IO exception. Okay. So now where did you use the file? Let's see your activity. Let's see the send SMTP mail message activity.
This is it.
Sam?
This is it. Okay, I'm sharing my screen and I've opened it.
The activity. I'm only seeing. Okay, yeah, I've seen it now. Properties panel. Okay. Attachment. Only file. Attachment should be attachment. Have you attached the file?
Sorry?
Have you attached the file?
The automation is supposed to do the attachment itself. Am I supposed to attach it myself? The automation is supposed to attach it.
How did you indicate for it to attach the file? Because what activity do you use for that?
This is the receiver. I'm sending from here. I used an argument.
Okay, to send.
Yes.
Yeah, but you want to attach a file, right? I'm guessing you want to attach a file.
It's not attaching a file per se. It's supposed, okay, this is, okay. This is what it's about. I'm running the process. it opens the page. Data extracted successfully. Then it now writes data written in Excel. It creates the Excel sheet. That is this one. Then it's supposed to send this Excel to the mail.
Okay.
As an attachment.
Yeah, so now I'm asking what activity do you use to attach the mail?
From the documentation I used, they didn't make mention of using any activity to attach. It said all I needed to do was to create an argument, the mail it's sending from, to this mail which I entered there to receive it. Then this is the argument I used, the mail. Then it's supposed to send. I entered the port for it, the server, SMTP, and everything.
Error, and the error is saying now text file. So scroll down in the properties, scroll up in the properties again to the top. Scroll up to the top. Let's see.
The top.
Attachments. I still think you have to attach the file you want to send to the recipient email.
Yeah, that's the part. I created the part for the attachment. This is it here.
Okay, you created the
that's
part
what
too now.
Yes. And that's what he's saying. He cannot find the parts, and the part is there's nothing wrong with the part.
So that could be report. It could be report.xlxx or dot whatever you put at the end. Put the extension.
Put
the extension. Yeah, for the file name. No, for the file name under the argument now. Put the extension there. Are you getting me, Sam?
No, I didn't get what you said.
So for the file name, no, I saw the argument you put.
Okay.
And so for the name, put the file extension. So I guess it's to be .xlsx or something.
Okay, here. Okay, at the end of it here.
Yeah.
Okay. .x.
Well, confirm just to be sure. It might be XLS or something. I think it should be XLSX.
Yes, XLS.
XLSX. So put that there and then let's see what happens.
Sorry, have you seen the file? I can't find it.
Have you seen? Have you sent it already? Or I mean, go to general. You should see the extension on general.
Okay, XLSX.
Yes, XLSX. So put that there.
XL. So let me try running again. Please run, please run, please run, please run.
Still saying the same thing. The process couldn't. It's being used by another process.
Okay, so close the Excel file.
Service not available.
Service not available. Exception type mail kits. .NET SMTP command exception. Okay. Could that be something with the ports? I think all those other what's it called settings you used, they're correct, right? Or
Yeah, they're correct.
What?
Port 993.
So I think it should be something with either your IP address or the port or all those other mail settings that you
Outgoing mail port is 587. That's what I used.
So let's put that on the side for now. Then maybe after the class, we'll look at it again.
All right.
Yeah. So let's continue. And I think Judge, now run your Excel posting. Nice. So let's continue with our class then.
Yeah, sir, please, I have, if I run my own, it will just run and continue running. It's not displaying anything on the output, and it's not showing any error message.
You used read range. Did you also use all the outputs? Did you use outputs data table?
Yes, I use the output data table and the right line to. Those are the things that added, the activities that are added.
Okay, and it did not run.
It will just be running and it will still be showing running, but it's not ending and it's not displaying anything on the output.
No. So try using the other set of activities then.
I use both of the read range activity. I use the read workbook. It's both of them that is showing that I'm running.
And none of them are working.
Yes.
So let's see. Training background, but it's not showing error, right?
It's not showing any error.
And does the process run to completion? Like, does it show?
It doesn't. It just say started. If I go to the output is showing started, and it will be there. Like, since you'll be relating with the other guy, now it has been running. It has just been there. So I don't know how long it's going to run. And I believe there is an issue.
Yeah, maybe there's an issue with Excel on your.
Or do you need to check to know maybe there's anything I'm not doing right?
mean, I don't think there's something you're not doing right. But then let's see. So let's share your screen. Let's see your process.
Okay. Sir, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I think you started from here. This is the first one, Excel application scope. Then I put the read
Put the file, yes, then read range. Okay.
So I specify the file here. Then though I didn't specify any range, but I don't believe.
Yeah, that will read the whole.
The whole, yes. Then the output data. So the output data, I pass it to a data table, a first data table. And then the output, I declare an output as strange here. So are you seeing it?
Yes.
Am I online?
Yep, I think you are on the right.
So then the right line, I pass the output as the right line.
So run. Let's see. Let me see your output.
So the same thing I do with the other one. So if I run it now, so it will just be there, and it's running. It's still showing running here. To not display anything, to just be running. And the output, it just showing started. So it should just be here.
Okay. So stop the process. Stop it. Stop the process. Go to debug. Beside design. No, beside beside design.
Beside what?
At the top of your screen. Go to the debug panel. You see home design debug. Click on that debug.
Okay, debug.
And click on what's it called? Slow step. Slow step at the right beside breakpoints.
Slow step. Okay. You run this one.
Yes. Click it again. Okay, right now debug the file. Debug file now. Open now. It's run. MC output panel. And is there anything in is the PDF file empty?
Yes.
PDF is empty. So it's run. I mean, it's run now.
On the main. On the main is the PDF.
What?
And I have a Excel activity.
Is the PDF you are using now here? It's not empty, right? There's something inside.
Yes. But not on the same sequence. So the PDF is on the main sequence.
The PDF you are reading on the main sequence. That should not matter. That should not.
Is it interfering?
That should not interfere. Because we are just debugging the specific file, we're not running the whole sequence. So it should not cause any problem. But Work file. Scroll up, sorry. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what might be happening, but then let's just try to run a different process and let's see what happened then. Maybe it's this file that has.
Or I should pick a different essay, maybe
Try running a different Excel file.
Sir?
Try opening a different Excel file and see what will happen then.
I just have only just a few. I think all these reports are large, so I'm trying to look for something small.
It does not really matter actually because UiPath will do it fast. Well,
Sir, I'm curious. I don't know whether I'm not sure whether I missed it, but why are we not following the steps outlined in the PDF?
Steps in the in the activity. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Robert. That was actually you've not gotten there. I was just trying to show those activities that we have in we're working with workbooks. So we're not actually doing the activity.
Oh, okay.
And then George, just keep trying. Or let's try and do this activity together and let's see if that would work now.
Okay. So I should still remain sharing my screen, right?
No, oh yes, you can. Let's work on your screen now.
Okay, so let me give you a control now.
So clear. No, you can do it. Just do it yourself. Clear out. Let's say
clear out the activity.
Yeah. Go to your main and clear everything. Let's use your main.
Okay, I should start from the main. Clear everything.
Yes, clear everything, and you will do the activity.
I can cancel this one.
Yes, you can close it. Okay. Now, the first step says to first create an initial Excel file for the activity, but we don't need that. Now, I'm reading the PDF. The first step says we should create an initial Excel file, but we don't need that. We can use an Excel file you have on your system. Now, use the read range activity, but under workbook this time. So, George, let's use our read range. And also workbook, not Excel this time. So that is Excel. You have to scroll down. Okay, yeah, so workbook read range. Do that. Now specify a path to PDF or the Excel sheet you want to read. Just pick anyone that is not confidential. Then so we are going to read what are we reading? Actually.
So here they're showing A1 and A2. Sir?
I think you have to create the Excel file. Because the activities we are going to do here is
going to use something specific. So let's go to your Microsoft Excel and create an Excel file. Sorry.
I should just call Excel file.
Yeah, create an Excel file and enter the age of 10 students. Enter 10 random ages into 10 rows. Judge. Can't see anything.
That's what I'm sharing my screen.
As you know, you can't see your Excel. Are you doing that already?
Okay, let me. So can you see my screen now?
Yes, you can see the Excel.
Is this what I'm doing? Is it okay? I should put the name of the student.
No, yeah, we only want the age. And you should remove the serial number too.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, so let's save our Excel file.
So I've done that.
So now close the file and let's go back to our studio.
Okay.
Can I share your screen?
I'm here.
Okay.
So I select it.
Yep, so select the file now.
I'm there.
And empty the range. Now remove that A1 colon A2. Just leave the two quotes. After that,
Sir?
to the properties panel of the read range activity and create a data table for the output. So output, create your variable there. Name it DT student age, DT underscore student age.
I'm true.
Okay, now next we're going to use our for each row. Now, I think you've heard of for each. Now there's a for each loop that is more specialized for spreadsheets. I use for each row now. Yeah, for each row, no, for each row, yes. This one is a more specialized
row in data table.
Yes. It's the same as our for each, but it's more specialized and suited to data tables. So in the VB expression, put our variable there. That'll be DT, then age. And then in the body, insert and assign activity. And then in the toolbox, enter row brackets.
As a variable now.
Yes.
Sir?
Yes.
What?
Oh, no, use current row. Because that's your own variable there. No, don't create a variable. There's already a variable current row that this thing created for you. Then bracket 1. So current row brackets 1. Okay, so 1, put 1, yeah. And then that one puts dates dot today dot year. Time dot now dot year. Dates. DATE. Dot today.
Today.
Dot year. Then open and close brackets. Then next, outside the for each activity now, put a in output data table activity. Oh, sorry. Go back to the assign activity. So write date dot today dot year minus c int.
Should I write it where?
On the right, that will be date dot today dot year minus c int. No, after the bracket, sorry.
After the bracket.
Minus c int.
Minus what?
CINT.
Please, what's the bracket for?
So the bracket is there because the dot year is a method. So it allows us to get the exact year we are in at a certain day.
CINT is showing an error now.
Open brackets. Current row. So I think you check the PDF for the whole sequence of code. You're going to put open bracket 0. So Daniel, the bracket is there because it's a method in I think C#. So if you know something about programming, when using methods, you tend to use brackets after the dot method name. So current row, open bracket 0, close bracket. Now, outside the for each activity, insert output data table. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, good. And create a variable, right? In the properties part. So for the input now, you put a data table DT student age. And then for the output, create a variable and name it age output.
Name it age.
Age output.
Okay. Put a right line.
Right line. So then put our variable age output there.
So I'm with you.
Yeah, so run it now. Let's see. System selection. Source assigned. Exception has been thrown by a target of an invocation. So go back to the assign. One. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at something. So go back. Let's open our PDF again. Sorry, keep saying PDF.
Page
Open
what?
our Excel. Open that Excel file, that age Excel file. Open it in Microsoft Excel.
Okay.
I want to make some changes. So.
So this is it.
Can't see it. So George, when you are sharing your thing, next try to share the screen out the window. So it won't have to be switching every time between.
Okay. So I should share the screen.
I don't share a window.
I will see. So can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it. So now create a second column.
Sir?
I can see it now. Create a second column. Let's call it year of birth. Yeah, leave it empty. Just save it.
Okay.
And close it. Yeah. Let's run it again now, and hopefully that should clear the error. We are done. Check our output panel now. Let's see what we have there. You can see we have the age and the year of birth now.
Okay.
The process we did, we used the for each row. And I remember I said for each allows us to perform
some activities repeatedly over every item in a collection. Now, the for each row is made specifically for data tables. And the things we performed, you can go to your workflow back, George. Let's explain the things we wrote down now. So in the for each row, we have we have one default variable, that is the iterator, as the value or the row that is being processed at every point in time. So that's the first thing in this part, this for each that says current row. And then in the in field, we have to put our variable name, or our data table name rather. So whatever we will be iterating to, true, put that data table there. Now in the body, we use an assign variable, an assign activity. That's in the two, we had current row, comma, bracket 1. Now, what this does is it's so God, let me share my screen to explain this better.
Okay, thank you, sir.
But you still share after, but just to explain this point, I would want to share my screen.
Can take over then.
Yeah. So this and see, I'm opening a paint to do some drawings. So I know this editor table. Now, the way the for each row works is that it takes every row of the data table. So when it's working the first time, it will be working on this row. On here. This will be row first row, then second time again. Now it's working on this row. And then third time, so this is first time, second time, and then third time. Now, when you're working on the first row, each row is divided into columns. So depending on the number of columns we have in our spreadsheets, we have, those number of rows in our data table. And then to access each cell now in the row, UiPath does what we call indexing. Okay? And for indexing now, indexing allows us to access specific cells in a row based on their position or based on their number. Now the first cell is assigned number 0. Then next one is assigned number 1, then number 2, number 3, until you get to the last one. Now, if you go back to the code that we entered now, you can see that we had current row, comma 1. So what that means is that we are looking at the current row. So during the first iteration, we're looking at row 1, and then we're looking at the item in column 1. That's this one. And then to that, we are assigning the current year minus C int. So there's again that C int, the int, row I should have used something else. Where is the int row what now? I think it was row 0. Now this cint is a conversion function. Yep. So it's converting whatever we have in row 0. Remember, row 0 now will be this one in this case. This will be row 0. So you are converting this item here into an integer, and then you're subtracting it from the current year. So that's what this whole line of code that says cint, comma, a bracket row, bracket 0, 1, then minus date. So that's what we will store in row 1. So the value of whatever we evaluated from this will get stored here. Then a second time again now, it gets the same value, convert to integer, and then store it here. Get the same value, convert to integer, and store it here. Does that make sense to everyone?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Let me go over. Let me do it again. Explain again. Okay. So we all know that we have data tables or spreadsheets. They look something like this. You all agree with this, right? This is how
Yes.
data table looks like, and then we have our rows and our columns. So our rows and our columns. Now, for each row accesses every individual row in a data table at every iteration. So at iteration 1, they're accessing the first one. At 2, they're going to the second one. And at 3, they're doing the third one. Now, for each row, we saw that we had 2 fields. We had the one that said it was row, and then in our DT. Correct? That's how the for each row is. Now, in our assign activity, we said we want to assign row brackets 1 to, let's just call it year. That's the whole sequence of code there. Minus cint, then row x. This. Let me do that again. So we had this code here that said, where is it? So it said row 1. Now, when we send it through, or when we access it through with our for each row, the individual cells in each row are, or they have their index or their indices that you can use to access the individual cells in a certain row. So now, take for example, we have this first row now. So this first cell will be given an index of 0, 0. Then likewise, second one will be an index of 1, then 2, and then 3. Exactly with everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now when we say row, say row comma 1. Now what that means is that we are looking at that row, then accessing the cell in index or at index 1. So in this case, that would be this one. That would be this one. That would be this. Right? Do you all get that so far?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is row 1. And then in the other part now, we are now assigning something that is the current year. Then I'll call that year. Then minus C int row 0. So you can all guess that this row 0 is the value that is in this one now. Now for this C int is a method in C# that we can now use in UiPath to convert to convert a string rather into an integer. Because the nature of how a data table or a spreadsheet is read is that it's read as a string. In order to work with the numbers as integers, you have to convert it. So that's what this cint is for. And this cint converts the number that was here. So in the file, it might be something like 10. It makes 10 an integer. Then subtracts 10 from the current year. It then assigns this whole expression, or whatever value you get from the expression, into this row. That's why when we printed out our data table, we saw the age, which we had put normally, and then we saw the year of birth, which is calculated through this whole expression. Is that clear now? Should I say it from again? Hello? Yeah, so I guess I'll take that as a yes. So that is just the extra code that we saw there, which might not be familiar to most of us.
Mine gave me an error though.
What's the error? But you did that.
Yes. Couldn't it was saying couldn't find row 1.
Okay, so did you create another column in your Excel file?
I created a column
for age.
For student age, yes, just for the age. Was that? But I didn't label it.
We should have created 2 columns actually. So one for the age, then another one for the year of birth. Because when it's entered, I think the studio assumes that we have reached the end of the rows that have data, so nothing gets done. But then even if they heading, like giving one age and giving another one like year of birth, as we did in our case, we tell the studio that even though it's empty now, we like have data there, or we want to have data there in future. Once you do that, you'll be able to access row 1.
George, please, can you share your...
Yeah,
yes,
George,
please,
show us
your
Excel sheet again.
of your Excel sheet.
All right, let me share.
Excel sheet again.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
If you open the Excel.
Yes, the Excel.
Okay. Can you see it?
Oh, yes. Okay. And the labels there must be exactly as it is on the UiPath activities.
No, I just labeled this one. Just the age. You just put any random age.
Labels don't have to exactly be. I mean, not in this case, it doesn't have to be, but at some point, maybe in other activities, there are some activities where you need to specify the exact label to access something. But in this case, you don't need the exact label. So you can put anything there.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yep. So that's fine. Thank you, George.
Okay. She stopped sharing.
Yeah, you can stop sharing. I think at that point, let's wrap up today's class. Yeah, in the PDF, there are still other things about Excel activities. So from the exercise, which is on slide 35 up until slide activities up until slide 50. Okay, not 50. Up until slide 42. So that is something that everyone would look at by themselves. It just gives you more details about all the activities, and it gives you more exercises to do. So you have more things to try your hand at and perfect your skills, or perfect to an extent your skills working on Excel sheets and workbooks or worksheets. Okay, so as I say, I'll bring the class to an end this time. But before we all go, I'd like to make like an announcement, something like an announcement. So we're starting from next week. We will likely be having tests every day. Just something like to keep you all in the mood for writing the exam and prepare your mind. So you'll be having tests every day, at some point during the class. So just carve out, give or take 10 minutes to answer like 5 questions or thereabouts. And you do that from next week, every class. So, I mean, if you have friends that are not in class now, you should tell them all this, that's going to be important. And then attendance is mandatory, because then the test also tells us that you are serious with the whole training, and that you're not just some ghost students. I just want to fill up space that you are actively looking to, participate in this training. So the tests daily, and to do that, you have to be in class. So tell your friends to be in class for the tests. And so I'll now be taking. Okay, but the test will be on things we've done so far. So I won't give anything that is new to you. So you can rest assured once you have and it's gone over the things once or twice, you'll have an idea of what is happening and you take the test. And also, lastly, the tests don't have any academic bearing on your whole training. So you should not be panicking if you feel that okay, you did not get a high enough test. I mean, you can be, and also you can be worried, but you can use it to gauge your preparedness. But then don't panic and say that you might miss out on something because you did not get a high score. No, the test will not impact you at all. Just to keep you prepared for the main exam.
Okay, so we'll bring our class to a close.
Okay. So, sir, we are still having the test on Saturday, just the same
Yes.
time.
Saturday test. Then from
Okay,
Monday.
then for the assignment, do we have to tomorrow evening to submit it, or what? When is the last
for
time?
the assignment, because of errors that I'll extend the assignments deadline to Saturday. So Sunday, basically 12 a.m. on Sunday. That's when it's to close. So
All right, thank you, sir.
But it's stating that
you mean this
was closed left.
Sorry?
It's stating that there's close to hours left.
Yeah, I'll change it. I know I set that's before it's got that most people are still having some issues, and then other little developments. So I'll change it after this class. You see the effect that's closing on Sunday, 12 a.m.
Excuse me, sir. Last week you said by this week there will be practice tests for each module of the course, and till now I've not seen something like that. So I don't know.
This is Victor, right? Or this is David.
It's Victor, sir.
Oh, Victor. Yes. It still stands. There will be practice test eventually. So let's see, by tomorrow you start seeing it.
Thank you, sir.
And that is a promise. So you can take it to the back. By tomorrow you start seeing your practice tests, at least on the ones we've done so far.
Okay, sir, one more thing. Please, can you go over the assignment for us again? Because so many people have been asking the question on Discord channel on how the assignment should be or what the assignment is all about.
The assignment I just said was for you to pick any process you want. So you can decide to, as Sam did, decide to look through data on the internet and send as a mail. Just at your own disclosure, pick a process, then automate it based on everything you've learned so far. And then submit the XAML file to the LMS, to the assignment module.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. I sent you a mail yesterday on my phone number and requesting to join the group. You've not added me to any group.
I sent you the link to the Telegram group and Discord group right now.
Okay, maybe I'm not checking out the
I replied the email with the links to the group.
All right, I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay.
Then there's another request I made though. I believe you saw it too.
Oh, for my personal number.
Yes, sir.
I'm still pondering on that.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. So okay, right. Okay. Olamide. Evening, Olamide. I can't hear you in case you are talking. Okay, Lamde, try to fix your microphone because I'm not hearing you. Daniel.
All right, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Daniel.
Yeah, my evening is not good.
Why is that?
Yes, you said you were going to send me the link.
Yes.
Links
you didn't send me a mail.
I did. I sent you a mail. Immediately we dropped the call yesterday. I even tried to go through some comments on errors on UiPath that through Google. I couldn't find anything related to my case. Like it's a special case. I don't know. And it's really affecting my interest in the course. I keep joining the class, but I can't just practice what I'm learning in the class.
What's your email, Daniel?
adekombiadejari@gmail.com. Can I type it in the?
And I can't. I mean, I didn't see any mail from you.
So your mail is timileyin99@gmail.com.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I was expecting your mail. I did not see. I think I opened one link that I think might have been helpful to you, but I was expecting you to send me an email so I can reply to that link.
Okay, I'll do it again tonight. Timile, is it your Timileyin? Is it HIN or YIN?
YIN.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Yeah, do that now. Let me see.
So, and I'm also looking forward to probably trying another PC.
Another PC. Okay.
Yes. To see if
yeah, if you feel like it's taking too much time, you can do that, and that would most likely work actually.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope when I get the issues solved, you'll be kind enough to, after going through the videos, if I have some questions, to be kind enough to attend to them on my behalf, please.
Sorry?
I said when I sort this issue and then I go through all the class videos again, I hope you'll be able to attend to some of my questions that may arise as a result of.
You have to send me an email. You won't ask me in class.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We'll do that.
Mr. Timothy, can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me now, sir?
I can hear you now.
Mr. Timileyin?
Yes, I can hear you now, Mr. Alamide.
Okay, sir. About the... Yes, Baba. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you, sir. So about the test we have on Saturday, you said that we're going to cross-check it on tomorrow, right?
Cross-check.
Was that what you said?
No, I
to
said
check.
I'm going to. I mean, I said 3 things. I said we're having tests
revision
daily
on Saturday
next week. They have on Saturday by the same time, so by the same 7 p.m. Then I said I'm going to extend the assignment till 12 a.m. on Sunday.
Okay. Oh, okay. So what about the test is going to be? Are you going to give us the theme, or are we maybe tomorrow we just do a small revision on that because we learn a lot, you know?
Revision. The test, like last time,
yes,
it would be on the topics we have covered in class. So it's most likely be on the recent topics. So to be on this automation concept.
Okay, automation.
PDF activities.
What about the control flow charts?
Yes, part of control flow. Part of control flow. The control flow automation activities. I think you should see. Let me not make any promises. But then it's what we've done recently. So we can go back to what I think what we did on Monday through today. That's what will mainly be on the test.
So it means that everything we've done since Monday, right? So
yes.
That's what I'm gonna. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome. Then okay, I've answered Daniel. Chibuzo.
I want to say thank you. Your mail helped me a lot. I've registered my mail again, and I'm starting all afresh again. Just that the quiz I wrote last time didn't pop up again. All those things are gone. I'm just starting like afresh again. So I don't know why.
So, I don't know why too, because remember I think you said I checked your mail and I could not find an account there, so I don't know what happened. So it's not going to have. I mean, I don't think it's not going to affect you the training. Just that I guess it might have slowed you down a bit. So for that I apologize on our behalf.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. At least I can now go through the lessons and others, because I only listen I couldn't access anything for 3 days now, so I'll just go through them. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, and again, once again, I apologize.
Mr. Timileni?
Yes.
Please, when is going to be the deadline of that submission of the assignment you gave us about the selector and
Selector assignment.
Yeah.
Selector assignment.
No, the one assignment you gave us on that you should check data, internet, check online, you know. So to submit it, sir?
There's only one assignment, and that's the assignment where I said you pick a process and automate it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So when deadline is it?
I said Sunday, 12 a.m. on Sunday. So you have tomorrow and the whole of Saturday to.
Okay, to do it. Okay. Fine. On good night, sir.
Hello, boss.
Lastly, David.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I just want to ask this question regarding try-catch activity. There's a part where it says intentionally break this selector of this activity. Click the hamburger button. So I want to know where that hamburger button is located.
You said to intentionally break this selector
of this activity. Full stop, then click the hamburger button and select Edit Selector from the context menu.
Okay. Done. That's in the PDF, right?
Yes, it's in the PDF.
On what page?
That is page 67 under lesson 5, control flow.
Flow.
Page 67.
Yep, I'm on page 67. That's the page with the try-catch.
Yes, sir.
And he said hamburger menu. I can't. Do you mean the activity?
Okay,
I've seen it. Intentionally bring a selector of the activity. Click the hamburger button and edit selector from the context menu. Okay, so that is for the type into activity.
Yes.
So let me, so if I may share my screen.
Okay.
So let me create a type into activity. So when I indicate this is the hamburger. This is hamburger menu. I seeing it, David?
Yes, I am.
These three bars inside this image. That's the hamburger menu, and then you see this selector.
Okay.
And when they say break it, just mean clear something that will make the selector not work again. So you can choose to clear this.
I'm not seeing that on mine. No.
Not seeing the hamburger menu.
I'm seeing the hamburger menu, but that edit selector is not there. What's there is indicate target on screen. highlight target, show informative screenshot, remove informative screenshot, add screen to object repository.
So you saw everything apart from the. Did you see Open UI Explorer?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and let me check this. Because are you in the modern design experience?
Let me check. Use modem for new projects in the settings, right?
So go to your project settings. So here, you can see where my mouse is.
Okay.
Click on that gearbox, then on general, turn off this last option if it's on. So was it on before? Are you there now?
I'm still trying to get that project settings. It's not showing like yours.
Okay, so David, do you mind sharing your screen?
Coming. Okay. Okay. Okay, modern design experience. It's yes, it's clicked, is on yes.
Yeah, so turn it off.
Okay. Turn it off. Okay, waiting for it to reload. Still the same thing.
So you can't see the edit selector.
No, sir.
So do you want to share your screen now, David?
Okay, let me share it.
Okay, Dan. Okay, I'll wait for that. Daniel. Daniel, Adijari.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So your hand is up. So yes, I think you have a question.
Okay, no,
Okay, then no problem then. David has left.
Yeah, I'm here. Waiting for the.
So try sharing your screen now, David.
Okay.
And this second one doesn't have. It's only this one that has.
Okay, so yeah, I think you should remove. So remove. You need to do it again now because these are modern activities, and for modern, you won't see that there. I think for modern, you did your selector and your properties panel. If I'm not mistaken. So you need to do it again. Indicate the things again, and you should see it.
Okay. Let's see.
So wait, so you can just from here, from the plus just try to add the type into again, and you should just check if you would see the edit selector thing.
Okay, I'm showing now.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. So, in absence of any other questions, good night, everyone.
Right, sir. Good night, sir.
Good night.
That's
Good night.
Thank
Mr.
you very much.
Hey, you cannot find column 1. I've been on it since.
Even after putting the
I even had to do a process. I had to do a process. Nothing.